Hi, I'm Brent Ash, the Presentation Director on Assassin's Creed Revelations from Ubisoft Montreal, and you're watching Platform 32.
According to the internet, the French invented free running and called it parkour. According to Ubisoft's super popular Assassin's Creed franchise though, free running has been around for yonks. Like, right back to Jesus times or something. And it wasn't used for making movies look cool back then, it was used to avoid getting a big sword stabbed right through your neck. Anyway, whenever it was invented and whatever the point of it is, the urban acrobatics in protagonist Desmond Miles' time-travelling, body-snatching adventures have been incredibly popular and always great fun to play. Which is good really, because there's a new one coming out called Assassin's Creed Revelations, and if the others had been rubbish, making this one would have been a bit of a waste of time, I guess. Desperate to know more about this new sequel, we went to London's Eurogamer Expo and tried to get Brent Ash from Ubisoft Montreal to give us some revelations about the game.
Assassin's Creed Revelations is going to be the third and final chapter in Ezio's trilogy, so we're going to be wrapping up his storyline. You're going to be able to play as Altair as well. We're bringing him back for fans that first met him in Assassin's Creed 1. So there's a lot of good nostalgia factor there. Also, of course, we're going to be exploring the storyline of Desmond and seeing sort of what's happened to him after the events of at the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which sort of, as with the spoilers out there, he's in a coma right now, so things aren't looking super good for him. We're also going to be taking Ezio outside of Italy for the first time in the series. You're going to see a new city such as Constantinople and Cappadocia. And then from the Gamescom trailer, you probably saw that we're also taking him through Masyaf as well, which is another key location from Assassin's Creed 1. We'll be introducing a couple of new gameplay mechanics, such as the hook blade, which is going to allow him to do a lot quicker traversal. So you'll see throughout the city of Constantinople, you'll be able to scale the buildings much quicker. There's also a series of zip lines that the assassins have set up throughout the city to use as a network. And then you're going to see how that blends really elegantly into combat. So you're going to be able to do like right from zip line into air assassination and that type of thing. So that mechanic alone has a big impact on a lot of the gameplay. The other big thing is the bomb crafting mechanic. So we demoed that a lot more extensively at Gamescom this past year, and it's a really fun system. It's allowing the player to craft different types of bombs. There's the tactical style, there's a lethal, and then there's strategic. And they really have an influence on how the player wants to play and what their style of gameplay is. So if you want to do things that are a little more stealthy, the bombs are really, there's certain types of bombs that are really effective in allowing you to do that. If you want to do stuff that's a little more aggressive, straight up, more of a forward play style, there's bombs that really assist you in doing that too. So we're really looking forward to seeing sort of the emergent gameplay that players can sort of discover for themselves from the different types of bombs.
Wow, so that's cool, you get to play as Ezio, Desmond and Altair in Revelations. Can you tell us anything about the storyline of the game?
In Brotherhood and in Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio was very driven by revenge. That was his primary motivation, the death of his father and his brothers in Assassin's Creed 2, and then of course the death of his uncle and mentor Uncle Mario in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood at the hands of the Borgias. So he's really sort of been on this quest for revenge, and in doing so, discovering a lot about the assassins and the Templars along the way, and also in doing so becoming a master assassin himself. So it wasn't really what he'd set out to do. So now he's getting older in life, and he's looking kind of back on his life, and Revelation sort of takes him on more of a personal journey. Like I said before, it's taking him outside of Italy, and he's looking for this sort of the secrets that Altair has left behind. And in doing so, he's discovering sort of a much deeper plot that involves the Templars. So, in order for Ezio to kind of fulfill his journey, he'll need to sort of follow through the footsteps of Altair, and he's in search of these 5 keys that Altair's left behind. And if you think of the keys as sort of almost like a first civilization technology that's in a way a precursor to the Animus, it's going to allow Ezio to relive key moments in Altair's life.
So wait, Ezio relives moments of Altair's life while Desmond relives moments of Ezio's life? Or does Desmond relive Altair's life while also reliving Ezio's? Ugh, this is like Inception all over again. It's a dream within a dream within a coma. Or maybe not, I don't know. Ezio's no stranger to gadgets after hanging out with Leonardo da Vinci, but I heard you mention hook blades and bombs before. Can you tell us more about these new assassination tools and how Ezio lays his hands on them?
Of course, the hook blade is one of the big new gadgets that Ezio will get, and he also talked a little bit about the new cities, but we're also going to be introducing new characters. So you saw the character from the E3 demo, which was Yusuf, and he's the one that introduces Ezio to the hook blade. So he's one of the local assassins there, and he also is the one that sort of teaches him about the bomb crafting and whatnot. So we are going to see a return of that, and sort of the tried and true gadgets that Ezio's been known for. So we brought the crossbow into the mix in Brotherhood. You're going to see that again, of course, the gun, and then all the different types of bombs as well will be the sort of the new features.
A little birdie told me that Ezio's eagle vision has had a bit of an upgrade as well for this installment. Can you tell us any more about Ezio's new talents?
Because Ezio is much more of a master assassin now, he's more attuned to the ability. So he's going to be able to see things in eagle vision that you haven't been able to see before. So you'll be able to see some of the patrol paths of the guards. You're going to be able to see almost ghosts of where your target or your whoever you're trailing, where they're going. So it gives him, I don't want to say like precognitive, but it does give him a little bit more of an enhanced perspective on what he's seeing.
The locations in the Assassin's Creed games have been incredibly well presented in terms of design and level layout. Why did you choose to set a large part of the game in Constantinople, and what positive additions did that location bring to the game?
A city like Constantinople is a really good example of how historically it's not, we don't sort of see a lot of it in popular fiction, so it was a really interesting place for us to go with Ezio. It's kind of known as the crossroads of the world. It's also referred to sort of as the London or New York of its time, simply because of the mash of cultures that are sort of coming together. So that half of the city is on the European side, and the other half is on the Asian side. So there's this really interesting clash of culture and architecture. It's also an incredibly dense city. It's built sort of on 7 hills, so there's a real interesting like slope and layering to it, and that had a big influence on not only the style of the art direction, but even the gameplay itself. Like a lot of the mechanics of the hook blade for fast traversal, both when ascending a building and when going down with the zip line, were influenced by the style of the architecture and the style of the city.
Multiplayer in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was thoroughly enjoyable, even if it was a nightmare getting into a match with your friends, so it's nice to see that the Hunter v Hunted gameplay is making a comeback. What have you done to improve and polish the multiplayer?
One of the key things about the Assassin's Creed franchise is we're very we pay very close attention to fan feedback and what they like and what they don't like, and the multiplayer is no exception. So after Brotherhood's multiplayer sort of wrapped up and we had a chance to sort of take a look at it again, we really opened up the well, first of all, the matchmaking is greatly improved over what we saw before. There's also an aspect of you don't actually craft bombs in multiplayer, but the results of bombs, like the types of bombs that you can craft in single player, some of those will make their way into multiplayer. So it's a good chance to sort of play with the different types of bomb mechanics in both aspects of the game. So that's a really nice addition into the multiplayer as well. There's going to be more customization on the characters themselves, different types of perks and whatnot. All new levels. The multiplayer levels themselves always reflect sort of the locations that we're going to in the single player. So we'll see locations based around some of the new cities and places that we're going in the single player.
Nice, Brent. Thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us. I have to say, I can't wait to jump into Desmond's crazy world once more. So, how long do I have to wait? Because I'm, like, well impatient and stuff.
It's coming out on November 15th, Xbox 360 and PS3. The PC release date is not final at this time, but it will be much closer to the release date of the console version and not so pushed out as we've had in the past. So we've been, again, when we listen to fan feedback, we know that Traditionally the PC version has been a little bit far from when the console one was released, so we've taken steps to address that as well.
Excellent news. It's always great when a developer takes on the feedback from the gaming community, so fingers crossed players will be in assassination heaven when Revelations is finally released to the gaming world. Right, I'm off to practice my parkour in preparation for the game. I think I'm getting better now. Last time I did it I only broke 2 bones and grazed my knee a little. The time before that I fell onto a metal bar, smashed my pelvis and popped a testicle. Now that hurt a lot, kiddies. Believe.